My wife sent me this experiment literally a couple of days ago, where they did an experiment with a group of women, and they put scars on their faces, and they told these women that they're going into a job interview, and the purpose of the experiment is to find out whether people with facial disfigurements face discrimination. They showed them the scars in the mirror. The women saw themselves with these scars, and as they led them out of the room, they said, "We're just going to touch it up a little bit." And as they touched it up, they removed the scarring completely. So the women went into the job interview thinking that they are scarred, but actually being their normal selves. And the result of the experiment is that those women then came back reporting massively increased level of discrimination. Indeed, many of them came back with comments that the interviewer had made that they felt were referencing their facial disfigurements. And this is why I think this ideology of victimhood is so dangerous, because if you preach to people constantly that we're all oppressed, that we're all being discriminated against at different levels, that because I'm an immigrant, I'm automatically disadvantaged, that because I have dark skin, I'm automatically disadvantaged, then that primes people to look for that. And it's like, when you buy a new car, you see that car everywhere else as you drive around. It's that kind of effect, which is why this ideology of teaching people that they're victims is so incredibly damaging and so incredibly dangerous. We have to teach young people in particular that they're strong, that they're capable, that they're able to overcome adversity, not that they're victims. We now have a society where we promote certain people ahead of others. We have what supposedly is called positive discrimination. I don't think any discrimination can be positive in that way. So actually the solution is there, but the reality is that, as Douglas Murray says, some people enjoy the overcorrection. Some people enjoy the overcorrection and the power that comes with it, and the ability to shut down anyone and to go, well, speaking as an immigrant, you're not allowed to say that. Right? Speaking as a whatever, you're not allowed to say that. That's power. In a society that tries to debate ideas, that is tremendous power. And people don't want to give that up. They don't want to give that up. And I think that's a big part of why this is happening. And the other thing is, of course, this whole ideology of victimhood. It's weaponized empathy. It's weaponized our empathy. I'm using your empathy against you. Because if I say, well, look, as a blah, 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 I've been oppressed for 50 years, you empathize with that.
Right.
As a human being, you naturally empathize. So anything I then tack onto that, I've been discriminated against, therefore we must now overturn capitalism. It's harder to argue against simply the slogan, we must overturn capitalism. So it's weaponized empathy, and that's why it's become so powerful and so corrosive, because it's very difficult to argue against, excuse me, when people project this former oppression. Their victimhood. And there is discrimination in society. Some people are racist, some people are bigoted. And there are groups which have been marginalized historically. And we are now at a point where largely we've addressed many of those issues. But the industries that they have created around those, career feminism, career whatever else it is, those people are never going to give it up. If you've got a successful career as a TV feminist, you're not going to give it up. You're not going to go, oh, look, the gender pay gap is pretty much closed, and in fact, women under 40 are out earning men. You're not going to want to hear that. You're not going to want to spread that. You're going to find another thing.
If your status and your power are derived from being a victim, you have a
you
great
have to be a
incentive
victim.
to remain a victim.
You must remain a victim.
You don't want your victimhood resolved.
Absolutely. Why would you want to give up your power? No one wants to.